students, welcome. This is your grade 6 English classroom and I am here to help you with the lessons from your book. In today's lesson, we are going to learn some exercises from Unit 8. Okay students, are you ready? Okay, please open your book to Unit 8 and let's go to the exercises about listening and writing. Okay students? Okay, then please be ready with your necessary materials. Okay, please take paper or pencil and get ready for listening exercises first. Okay students? Okay, then before starting the text, let's remember some of the things that we have learned in our previous lesson. Do you remember students, in our previous lesson we have done an exercise about that was describing past and past habits, and we talked about some of the reading exercises and also some of the other exercises that was about using the structure used to. It talks about past habits, right? And we also practiced using didn't used to, and also we tried using did you used to for making questions. Did you used to for making questions, for asking, describing past and past habits. Okay students? So in the previous lesson, we found there was a very vast difference in the village named Gairigaon. So the title was Gairigaon then and now, right? Do you remember that lesson? Yes, that was about the changes in the village named Gairigaon. You can see here some of the picture from that lesson. So you see there are people enjoying, right? So that was the past in Gairigaon, and now there are no such trees or resting places or travelers rest like this in the present time. Okay students, so these were the things that we have discussed in our previous lesson, and these are the structures used to, didn't used to, did you used to, and other ways like using past tense or past verbs or would you can use for talking about past and past habits. Okay students? Okay, so these were the things. So I hope you got all the ideas of the previous lesson, and now I would like to take you to today's lesson. Okay students, as I already told you that we are going to do listening exercise from exercise. You can see here from the section a listening part. Okay students, please have a look at this sign you can see in your book. Can you see that? Yes. So what are the two signs, or two girls and boy, a girl and a boy doing here? They are listening with the audio devices. Okay, so we are going to do that. Okay students, so let me read it aloud first. What is there? Look at the pictures and answer these questions. So what are our questions and what are the pictures? Let me show you here. Look at this picture and another picture. There we have two pictures here. So you see the difference there, and we have to answer these questions like, where do you live? Is it a village or a town? Is it a village or a town? Another question is, which do you like? Village or town? Why? You have to give the reason there. Another question is, what can we do to minimize pollution? Okay, these are the three questions we have to answer by looking at the pictures here. So let's talk about the picture here. So you can see in the first picture a lot of houses. What kind of houses? Village houses, right? Okay, with what kind of roof they have? Yes, with thatched roof. We call them thatched roof. They are from straws, made from straws of some crops. Okay, so you can see here mountain, green mountain. And what do you see in the next picture? In this next picture, you cannot see anything except people and houses and vehicles. There is no good scenery, right? So do you like this kind of scenery. Now, which one do you like? Yes, the first one. So, why? Because the first one is very clear, very, it's clean and healthy. It looks healthy. And next one seems a lot of crowd. There are a lot of people and dusty environment or dusty air. There is smoke, a lot of smoke produced by the vehicles. And there are large buildings that do not let us see the other sceneries behind them, right, students? So now, where do you live? Is this your place, this kind of village, or this kind of town? And next question is, which do you like, village or town? Why? Okay, most of us like village for its environment, for its cleanliness, for its fresh air, right? So you can say I like village because there are clean environment, there are greenery, there are beautiful scenery, and I don't like towns because it is polluted, there is no healthy air, and there are a lot of noises, people are making a lot of noises, and that is no peaceful place. Likewise, you can talk about it, right, students? And the third question, you can say, what can we do to minimize the pollution? So do you have any idea about making this second environment or this smoke go away, or making it clean? Have you got ideas? Yes, you can say that planting trees, you can say one thing. Yes, another thing, you can say removing the old vehicles. You can also say that building or constructing the paved roads everywhere, or the clean roads. Or you can say that people working for the cleanliness together, or all the people not throwing garbage or not producing any such smokes in the air. So these are some of the ways that you can think of. Okay, if you have got your ideas, you can tell. Okay, students, so these are the things that we have just seen from these two pictures. Now I would like you to look at another exercise that is under B. Listen to the recording for the first time and get the ideas of the following exercise. So this is the whole exercise that we have in our book. Do you see these pages? Yes, students. So here what we have, first we have talked about the pictures, and the second one is the listening exercise. Under B, you have to listen and choose the correct alternatives, okay, from these options. So another exercise you have C, and you have to find out whether the statements are true or false, and there is another exercise for you to do yourself, finding the differences in your school under D. Okay, so let's listen to the audio recording for the first time and just find out the ideas what is there. You don't have to do this task. If you want, if you can do, but you don't need to worry about this first time. I'll play it for another time as well. So don't worry, just listen to the audio. Okay, students, are you ready? Okay.
Danagaon was a remote village 10 years ago. There used to be small houses with thatched roofs. There were no transportation facilities in the village. People used to go to town for medical treatment. There were no hospitals in the village. People used to carry sick and wounded people in the stretcher to hospitals for treatment. There was only one school for the children of the whole village. Children used to walk on foot about 2 hours to reach their school. There was no electricity in the village. But now, many things have been changed in the village. There are big concrete buildings. There is a road for transportation in the village. People can use minibuses, trucks, cars, taxis, motorbikes, etc. for transportation. There is a hospital and some medical centers. Now, they can use ambulance to take a person to hospital. There are 5 schools in the village. Children can use school bus and van to go to school. There is the facility of electricity too. Danagao is a developed village now.
Okay, students, you have listened to the audio recording for the first time. I hope you have got some ideas about Danagao, right? So what are the differences, what are the changes in Danagao you have found from the first listening, right? So now our another task is under B to listen to the recording again and take the best answer from the alternatives given here. Okay, let's read the questions once. There were small houses with a roof. What kind of roof? You will find out that. People used to carry the patients in the hospital, to hospital. There is the blank space. C. Children now use school bus and there is a space to go to school. What is the another vehicle used? Okay, students, so the options are thatched, what kind of roof, thatched, zinc or concrete. Another, people going to hospital through car, ambulance or stretcher. Another, children use today school bus and motorbike, taxi or van. Okay, students, now once again we have another chance to listen to the recording for this task. Okay, students, please be ready now. You have to do the task and tick the correct answer. Okay, students? Okay, let's listen to it.
Danagao was a remote village 10 years ago. There used to be small houses with thatched roofs. There were no transportation facilities in the village. People used to go to town for medical treatment. There were no hospitals in the village. People used to carry sick and wounded people in the stretcher to hospitals for treatment. There was only one school for the children of the whole village. Children used to walk on foot about 2 hours to reach their school. There was no electricity in the village. But now, many things have been changed in the village. There are big concrete buildings. There is a road for transportation in the village. People can use minibuses, trucks, cars, taxis, motorbikes, etc. for transportation. There is a hospital and some medical centers. Now, they can use ambulance to take a person to hospital. There are 5 schools in the village. Children can use school bus and van to go to school. There is the facility of electricity too. Danagao is a developed village now.
Okay, well, students, I think you have found the correct answers here. So there were small houses with, not the concrete one, not the zinc roof, it was with a thatched roof. Okay, students, with thatched roof. Thatched roof means made with straws, okay, or stems of paddy. You can say, paddy fields. It is taken from paddy fields or weeds. Okay, students. So the second one is people used to carry the patients in the hospital. So what was the tool used there to take these patients to the hospital? It is here. You can see used to. The used to means it was in the past, not now. Now there are a lot of changes in the village, but it was before people using the stretcher, right? So as you guessed or as you listened, it was the stretcher is the correct answer. So children now use school bus and motorbike, taxi, van. It is van, right? Okay, I'll just show you the answer, correct answer. Let's see. So it was thatched roof and people used stretcher for going to hospital, and children now, they they don't go on foot, they go on buses and van to the school. Okay, students, so these are the answers, correct answers for these questions. Okay, students, now we are going to move to the another exercise, that is listening to the recording for true or false statement. Now let's read aloud the statements. Okay, students, Dadagaon was a developed village 10 years ago. What do you think? You have already listened. You can also guess. I'll also play the audio recording once again, but you can guess the meaning or the true or false statements. Another one is, there was a road in Dadagaon village 10 years before. Was there a road? You can also guess now. Another statement is, now the children now the children go to school on foot. So today, so after the changes, do you think children go to school on foot? You can also guess there. And D, letter D, people now have electricity in Dadagaon. So it can be the right answer, right? Because there are changes and concrete road and electricity, everything has come to the village. So let's listen to the audio once again for this task, and please complete this task. Okay, students, are you ready? Okay, let's listen to it again.
Dadagaon was a remote village 10 years ago. There used to be small houses with thatched roofs. There were no transportation facilities in the village. People used to go to town for medical treatment. There were no hospitals in the village. People used to carry sick and wounded people in the stretcher to hospitals for treatment. There was only one school for the children of the whole village. Children used to walk on foot about 2 hours to reach their school. There was no electricity in the village. But now, many things have been changed in the village. There are big concrete buildings. There is a road for transportation in the village. People can use minibuses, trucks, cars, taxis, motorbikes, etc. for transportation. There is a hospital and some medical centers. Now, they can use ambulance to take a person to hospital. There are 5 schools in the village. Children can use school bus and van to go to school. There is the facility of electricity too. Dadagaon is a developed village now.
Well, students, you have listened to the audio and you have found the correct answers, right? So are you ready to tell? Okay, so what is the statement A from number or letter A? Dadagaon was a developed village 10 years ago. Is it a true statement or false statement? False, right, students? Yes, it's not true, because before 10 years ago, it was not a developed village. And letter B, there was a road in Dadagaon village 10 years before. 10 years before, there was nothing, because there was no development. So it is also, yes, you are right, it is also a false statement. Good, students. Now, and letter C, now the children go to school on foot. Do they go to school on foot now? No, because they have got what? Yes, they have got buses and vans for going to school. So it is again false statement. You are right. And people now have electricity in Dadagaon. Yes, you said correctly. They have changes, they have got development, and it's the true statement. Okay, students, so we have completed all the tasks, right, students? Yes. So now, if you have missed any of the tasks, you can now listen to the last time, and correct your answers to all the tasks. Okay, students, are you ready for it? Okay. Great. So have a look at all the exercises, check your answers, and if you have missed anything, you can correct them and complete your answers fully. Okay, students, are you ready? Okay, let's listen to it.
Danagaon was a remote village 10 years ago. There used to be small houses with thatched roofs. There were no transportation facilities in the village. People used to go to town for medical treatment. There were no hospitals in the village. People used to carry sick and wounded people in the stretcher to hospitals for treatment. There was only one school for the children of the whole village. Children used to walk on foot about 2 hours to reach their school. There was no electricity in the village. But now, many things have been changed in the village. There are big concrete buildings. There is a road for transportation in the village. People can use mini buses, trucks, cars, taxis, motorbikes, etc. for transportation. There is a hospital and some medical centers. Now, they can use ambulance to take a person to hospital. There are 5 schools in the village. Children can use school bus and van to go to school. There is the facility of electricity too. Danagaon is a developed village now.
Okay, students, now we have completed the listening exercise, and we have one more exercise from this section, that is number D. Let's see it closely and find out what is there in this task. Okay, students, let's see. Let me read it aloud to you. You can also read it with me. What differences have you observed in your school from the time you were at grade 1 and now? Okay, students, from the time when you were at grade 1 and then now, what are the differences you have seen in your school? So you can talk about what changes have occurred. Discuss with your friends. This is the task, okay, students? So have you observed the changes in your school? Yes, you have definitely seen many changes, right? Now you are at grade 6 and it is almost more than 5 years, from 1 to 6, grade 6. So a lot of changes might have been there. So you can talk about that by using the past verbs or used to. For example, I will give you clues to talk about. You can talk about the teachers, okay, students? So teachers might be more or less, okay? Teachers might be teaching better or effective way. So that can be the discussion topic. Another you can see is that topic about students. What kind of students are there now and before? How many students were there in the school, and are there more students in your school or less students in your school? You can talk about that. Another thing you can talk about is the buildings, okay, students? You can all of you can very well see it, the changes around the buildings, okay, students? So there are new buildings, there are more facilitated advanced buildings, or you can talk about the some of the same buildings as well. So you can talk about the changes in terms of regarding these buildings of your school. And facility, definitely we have more facility, right? You have electricity in your school, you have water facility in your school, you have toilet facility in your school, better than the before, definitely, and you have computers more, or maybe internet, okay, students? So you can say that. So how you can talk about them? So you can talk about by using used to. There used to be few teachers before. Now there are a lot of teachers. There used to be very less students. Now there are a lot of students. There used to be few buildings and old buildings before when I was in grade 1. And now there are a lot of new buildings with a big and open spaces. You can talk about that. And facilities, you can say there used to be less facility in our school when I was in grade 1. Likewise, you can talk about using used to and used to be. Okay, students? So can you do this now? These are the clues you can use and talk about it, and you can share discuss with your friends. Okay, students? Okay, this is the end of our first part of our exercise, that is about listening. Okay, students? So next our exercise is about writing. So this is another exercise for talking about the similar thing, that is describing our past things and habits. Okay, students? So our task, what is it? Can you read it aloud? Yes. So it's with the help of your parents, recall some of your past habits. Write what you used to do and what you did not used to do. Okay, this is the task. So what does it say? It tells you to remember the things you did or you did not do in the past. So you can take the help of your parents or your guardians and find out what you used to do. Can you remember some of the things? Yes, some of the things you can remember well, and some of the things you can't, and you can take the help of your parents. So how? Okay, I'll give you again clues here. So you can use the terms like used to play or didn't used to play things, wear, used to wear some things, maybe clothes, or used to like maybe fruits and games, or used to eat some food, kind of food, or used to sing songs. You can, if you used to sing song, you can say I used to sing songs. If you didn't, you can say I didn't used to. And you are now going to use used to and didn't used to. Okay, students? So how you can arrange them? You can say I used to play, I didn't used to play, or I used to wear, I used to like, and you can put the things here at the end of your sentence. You can mention things or games you played, and you wore things, you liked things or games. So you can arrange the items, your sentence like this. Okay, so I'll just show you here. Okay, students, now, so our task is to describe our past habits, and we are using two things here, used to and didn't used to. So I'll help you with the things that you used to and you didn't used to. Okay, if you can't remember, I have some clues. So you can remember, you might have, Okay, students, so I have here some ideas that you can use, okay, by using used to and didn't used to. You have done a lot of things, and you also didn't do some of the things. Okay, for example, you can choose any of these things. For example, play in mud. Did you play in mud? So if you played in mud, you can say, I used to play in mud when I was small. Or you can say, I didn't used to eat. I didn't use. You have to use the first form of the verb, or root form of the verb, instead of used here, because we have did here. Okay, students? So while you use the negative one, you have to use use, USE, and you have to talk about which you didn't do. Okay, so you didn't used to wear pants. Maybe you wore shorts, and you didn't used to be sad when you were very small. And you used to like fruits a lot, didn't you? Yes. And you can talk about matching the things in the similar way. So now you can you add all of these sentences and make your own sentences and create a paragraph. Okay, students? Can you write about yourself now? What you did and what you didn't do in the past? I think you can do it very well. Okay, students, so for example, one example I'll write here. You can match with this and match with this. Okay, used to play in mud. When I was small, you can say, I used to play in mud. This is one example. Now you can combine other activities you did or didn't do and make your paragraph, okay, for this exercise about writing. Okay, so it's exercise A. You can write and create your paragraph. Okay, students? Okay, very good. Now, I think you can do it very well. Now, let's move to another exercise, that is V. Observe the pictures and write the differences you find. Use the given clues. Okay, students? Now, this is again the same thing that you can talk about. Okay, so showing the differences from the, its look, and you can see the differences in its different, things here. So, for example, the clues are greenery. In terms of the greenery, you can see there, two pictures, and less, population, and another one is less or big, and then we have building. Okay, so you can talk about in terms of this, which one is less polluted here, or which is big, and which is green. There are buildings here and population. What do you think? You can show the differences with these words. For example, you can use less. For example, this is less polluted, or this is, it has got less population. You can talk about now the next picture. The next picture has got, big buildings, and there are less greenery, and you can talk about there used to be in this area, there used to be less population, there used to be less pollution, there used to be less buildings. You can talk about in this second picture for the changes. Okay, students? So, and you can talk about in this first picture, there were, you can talk about in past tense, there were, okay, green mountains, there were greenery, and there were less houses, and there were, clean, rivers, or there were beautiful mountains. Likewise, you can show the difference. Okay, students? So I hope you can do this as well. Now let's move to the another task, that is project work. Okay, you have to do it. So I'll just give you some ideas how you can do. So it tells you to collect pictures of your locality or your village at present and of the past. Okay, one picture from the present, another from the past, and with the help of your parents or teachers, you can get the help for taking the pictures, and compare the pictures and find out the changes that have occurred. You can now compare the two pictures and find out the differences. So write a couple of paragraphs about the changes and present it to the class. So you can write now a paragraph. So you can again use used to and didn't used to for talking about the changes. Okay, students? And you can see here one example. This is one of the now biggest city here in Nepal. So look at there. In previous, many years ago, it's around, it's around 2032 BS, and the center or the city used to be like this. There used to be only few houses. Okay, so there used to be lesser people, and there didn't used to be vehicles there. But look at the picture of second picture. There are a lot of changes. Now there are many vehicles. Now there are big buildings. Now there are many people walking or traveling. So likewise, you can say what what were the things in the past, what used to be there, and what didn't used to be there, what people didn't used to do in the past. Likewise, you can use the same structure, same words I have mentioned here earlier, and then write the paragraphs. Okay, students? So are you ready to do this now? Okay, please complete this and show it to your teacher. Okay, students? Okay. So we have now come to the last part of our lesson, today's lesson. So let's just do so let's see some of the other pictures as well. For example, you can take the example of this picture. Okay, students, so you can see here one example of the of a village that is you can find out its locality. It's Bhaktapur. You can see here today it's very developed, and it's a market. It's a facility, good road with facilities. And you can see in the past there are less houses, and it was it had a lot of trees, okay, and farming land as well. So you can compare like this. So this is one of the example of the pictures from past and the present. You can take similar picture of your village and write the paragraph about it, and you can make the title a village then and now, or you can write your village name and and say then and now. Okay, students, so now this is the end. Now we have just the summary of today's lesson. We have listened to a recording, and we have done the exercises about Daragao. Do you remember that? Yes. So we have found the changes in Daragao, and we have also talked about writing for describing past habits or past things. So we used words like used to, didn't used to. We talked about also did you used to. I asked the question for you, and would can be used instead of these things to talk about the past. Or you can use the past tense. For example, I played marbles. I played in mud instead of I used to play in mud. You can use the verbs like ate instead of used to eat, or sang or liked. Likewise, you can talk with the past tense or used to words and didn't used to, or you can make question by using did you used to. Okay, students, so these are the things that you will learn in this, you have learned in this lesson. Okay, so please use them and make your writings, or use them and speak in your classroom. Okay, students, I hope you have got the ideas of today's lesson. So I hope you will also do the exercises and show it to your teacher. Thank you so much for joining this video class. See you in our next video. Thank you. Namaste.